Backfire Zealot V is a weird board, and is one of my least favorite Backfire boards. But to be fair, the Zealot V is a board with clear downsides, but also has its very unique upsides. To get the Zealot V, you just take the 40-inch Zealot X, shrink it down to 33 inches in an editing tool, and voila, you get the Zealot V. There are a lot of things to like and dislike about this board, so let me explain as we run through the specs. The Backfire Zealot V has a 33-inch or 83.8 centimeter deck made of ABS, glass fiber, and maple. It's pretty stiff and has little flex. Another thing about this deck is its flatness, without much concave. That's kind of a bummer for us because we like decks with more concave. It helps us feel where our feet are and makes it easier to control the board. But hey, the deck does look really good. It's got those awesome icy blue lights running the length of the deck, which always turns heads. And at $599, it's the cheapest e-skate out there if you're looking for one with deck lights like this. It's equipped with a 10S Hobbywing ESC, offering 4 speed modes, paired with a standard Backfire remote. It's not the Halo remote from the Zealot X and S2, but it's still comfy to use. You should already know by now that a Hobbywing ESC means 4 smooth and intuitive speed modes. The Backfire Zealot V is powered by a 42-volt 6-amp-hour or 216-watt-hour battery, packing Samsung 30Q18650 cells. These cells are pretty popular in e-skates as they have high energy density and high discharge rates. As for range, the Zealot V boasts about 11 to 12.5 miles or 18 to 20 kilometers, but in our test with a 155 pounds or a 70 kilogram rider going at a good clip, we managed only 7.5 miles or 12 kilometers. To be honest, that's not super impressive, especially for a board in this price range. We usually expect at least 10 miles or 16 kilometers of range with hard riding on boards over $400. The lack of range is, unfortunately, the price to pay for using belt motors. They're not as efficient as hub motors, meaning they chew through the battery quickly, but they do make up for it with a smoother ride. The Backfire Zealot V runs on 2 750-watt belt motors, totaling 1500 watts. It's a decent number, but not a game changer. Compared to the Zealot X's beefier twin 1500-watt motors, the Zealot V's power is more modest. As for speed, the Zealot V cruises up to a top speed of 26 miles per hour or 42 kilometers per hour. Again, this is pretty standard and nothing extraordinary, so it's not surprising that we hit that top speed in our test. So, it's not the most powerful on the block, but it's certainly capable of getting you up any incline and powerful enough for a 33-inch board. Moving on to the trucks and wheels, the Zealot V is equipped with 7-inch 50-degree reverse kingpin trucks. These are similar to the 8-inch trucks you'd find on the Zealot S2. However, unlike the forged trucks on the Zealot X, the Zealot V uses cast trucks, which is to be expected for an e-skate in this price range. Now, let's talk about the wheels. Despite being a smaller board, the Zealot V went with 96mm wheels. These are 96mm by 55mm wheels with an 80A durometer. The Backfire Zealot V managed to keep its weight down to 16.8 pounds or 7.6 kilograms, which is lighter than most electric longboards and cruisers, and roughly on par with many shortboards. At first glance, the Backfire Zealot V's specs for $599 seem pretty underwhelming. However, if you price the board lights as a $150 add-on, the pricing makes more sense. Don't ask me if the light truly costs $150. We only know Meepo 2 marked up the lightless Meepo Envy to the green-lighted Meepo Aurora by $150. Once you subtract $150 from the price tag, the Zealot V begins to look on par with other belt-driven e-skates on specs. For example, it has a nearly identical spec to the $449 WOW Go 3E, which is our top pick for the best affordable belt-driven electric skateboard, by the way. In short, if you like the lights for as much as $150, the Zealot V has good specs. 10S2P with Samsung 30Q dual 750-watt belt motors are reasonably good specs. The Backfire Zealot V was designed to be portable and nimble, and it accomplished that very well. It is really nimble and responsive. Turning tight corners and navigating amongst other road users is easy. The smaller form factor also means the board is easy to carry around when you're not riding it. At 16.8 pounds or 7.6 kilograms, it's not the lightest, but still amongst the lighter boards in town. But it does feel significantly easier to carry around because the weight is distributed evenly, and again, the smaller form factor. Despite the smaller size, the Zealot V did well in keeping stable. While going to the 26 mph top speed still feels sketchy on a shorter board like this, we think even new riders will be comfortable riding around at 18.5 mph or 30 kilometers. The smooth speed control of the Hobbywing ESC obviously helped. Acceleration and braking are perfectly smooth and intuitive, as they always are with Hobbywing ESC. These are all great things about the Backfire Zealot V, but one big question remains. Why didn't they go with a deck with a kicktail? A more typical shortboard or cruiser deck would have kept the size on the deck down, kept the weight light, and added versatility. You would also be able to have a similar width in your stance, as on a shortboard you can place your back foot on top of the trucks, whereas with Zealot V you can't. Some of us at ESHQ do like the design. However, if you are not using the kicktail, not having it means no chance of accidental wheelies. It is also often more portable than a deck with a kicktail, as the board lies flat in car trunks and takes up less space. One team member also appreciated that the board can be pulled by its truck, unlike boards with kicktails where the kicktails will hit the floor if you were to pull it. Other than that, the power on the Zealot V is good, more than enough considering the small size. Road vibration is still uncomfortable despite going with big 96mm wheels on a belt drive due to the stiff deck. It's nimble, portable, well-built, and looks really good. The board offers perfect speed control, sufficient power, and a pretty good balance between responsiveness and stability. It's a pretty board, built well, but at $599, it's not as affordable as boards that skip the lights. For many people, the Zealot V might seem stuck in a weird middle ground, but that also means for some, it's the perfect board with just the right amount of everything. It's ideal for those who want a nimble and portable board but aren't looking for a shortboard with a kicktail. It's for those who appreciate the ride profile of a typical longboard but don't need one that's 40 inches. And it's for those in search of the most affordable board with built-in deck lights. I don't fall into these groups, hence it's not my favorite Backfire board. But I still have to give kudos to Backfire for trying something new and being different with the Zealot V. As always, if you are looking to buy any e-skate, be sure to use our affiliated discount code with the link below. It will help you get a small monetary discount and helps us out too. You'll also be tagged as an Electric Skateboard HQ customer and probably be treated better. Ride safe, guys.